Hello everyone, we're going to be looking at the possible severe weather outbreak that's going to be happening throughout parts of the central US today. So starting off here, we are looking at the severe thunderstorm outlook throughout today. We do have a moderate risk, a rare moderate risk in place. That's going to be that's in place for parts of Kansas and Oklahoma. That's in that red color. It's a level 4 out of 5. So definitely, if you're in that area, you could definitely see some very damaging winds, even up to 90 miles per hour. So definitely, if you're in that area, you're going to see some very, very damaging gusts throughout that type of area. That's pretty much the main threat. However, all hazards are going to be possible. You also do have a level 3 out of 5 in that orange highlighted area. Definitely, even if you're in this level 3 out of 5, you still need to be super weather aware today. Definitely a couple tornadoes are possible and a major wind threat, as the line of storms do pose that up to 90 miles per hour possible. That's why they issued that moderate risk, not because of a tornado risk, but definitely a huge wind risk is going to be with this system. Also, that level 2 out of 5 within the yellow shaded area here. Definitely could also see some intense storms as well, but it's not going to be as intense as the moderate risk for those severe storms. Lastly, there's that level 1 out of 5 that's within that dark green color. It's a moderate risk of severe storms. That's an isolated severe risk, so definitely not any super severe storms are expected within the marginal risk, but definitely there's still a possibility for some isolated scattered severe storms. Here's the tornado risk, and like I said, all hazards are possible, but the tornado risk is not the main risk. As you can see, you have a 5% risk for those tornadoes in two different spots here. Over here in Kansas and Oklahoma, you have a 5% risk for those tornadoes, and also another 5% risk for parts of South Dakota, Iowa, and Nebraska. If you're in these areas, definitely need to be weather aware today. Very damaging storms are going to be possible throughout today and tonight. We'll be looking at the future simulated radar here in a minute. But definitely could see a decent tornado risk throughout today. You have a 5% risk for tornadoes in both of those brown shaded areas. Also that 2% risk for the tornadoes in the green shaded area. So definitely not a huge tornado risk, but definitely a couple tornadoes are possible in both of those brown areas. Hail risk is also a pretty big risk, as you have up to softball size hail, which is some pretty huge hail you're going to see in this purple and significant highlighted area. Definitely, if you're in that area, you need to put your car under something, bring anything that would be damaged or could blow away very easily, as these are going to be some very intense storms that are going to be moving throughout this Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma area. They're definitely not going to be really separate supercells, but it's definitely going to be a line of storms that are going to be indicating very high winds with this. Here's the wind threat, and definitely wind is going to be the main. Wind and hail is going to be the main, but definitely tornadoes are still possible. Wind, you're going to see up to 90 miles per hour, like I said, right in the type of area where those storms are going to hit. You're going to see up to 90 miles per hour gusts, which is definitely that's an EF0 tornado strength. So definitely, if you're in this area, you need to be completely weather aware. Bring anything inside that could blow away easily. This is definitely gonna blow anything away in its path, and you still have that tornado potential. So make sure you have that severe weather plan in place. Also, we do have a severe weather risk for tomorrow. That could potentially get upgraded to enhanced. You do have a slight risk, a level 2 out of 5 so far within the yellow shaded area, and the tornado risk is less than 2%. So mainly the hail and the wind is going to be the main threats, as you can see. Now we can look at future simulated radar for today's possible severe weather outbreak in the central U.S. Alright, so right now we are looking at the future simulated radar for the severe weather outbreak. You get into around midday, early afternoon hours, you start to see some cells developing already in parts of western Kansas. You get to around 2 or 3 p.m., and these cells are really starting to develop in that western Kansas area, and even some more thunderstorms are starting to fire in the eastern Nebraska area. Getting to around 3 or 4 p.m. now, and these storms are really starting to fire up and organize. Even in Nebraska, you're starting to see some more cells developing. Even reaching into Iowa, you could see some more severe storms in that type of area. You get to around 4 p.m. now, and you're seeing this really starting to organize in two separate lines. As you can see, reaching even into Minnesota, you could also see some intense, severe storms. But definitely, it's not going to be anything too intense like the ones down here. You're getting to around 6 p.m. now. You can really see how intense these storms are. You're even seeing kind of that bow echo shape, which is indicating that you could see some very high gusts that'll be within these storms. Around 7 p.m. and really, these are really intensifying really fast. You can see that bow echo shape, which is, like I said, indicating very high winds. That's going to be within this line of storms. 8 p.m. now, and still these are ongoing, but these storms up here in Iowa and Nebraska are starting to weaken, as you can see. But there's some more storms still ongoing in the more northern Iowa area. You get into around 9 p.m. now, and these storms are really starting to wind down. As you see, still some more clusters of storms, but the severe threat is starting to wind down as you get into around 10 p.m. now. Still, that cluster of storms is moving into the closer and closer to the Oklahoma City area. Around 11 p.m. now, and still those severe storms are moving throughout the area, but they're definitely weakened. As you can see, you can get to around midnight now, and those severe storms have moved through the Oklahoma City area and the Des Moines area, as you can see. But they're definitely not as intense as you get into around 1 a.m. They're pretty much turned into clusters of storms, but they're pretty much isolated by then. Around 2 a.m. now, and they're pretty much disintegrating as they move into the Midwest in the main part of Oklahoma. But Oklahoma City, you're going to see definitely rounds on rounds of heavy rain. Definitely a flooding potential is possible for you, because those storms are really just developing off. You can see here that cluster, that one storm here is still ongoing. That weakens until more storms do develop, and that hits the Oklahoma City metro area as you get into early morning hours around 4 a.m. So definitely you're going to see rounds and rounds of rain once you get into the early morning hours. But mostly it's going to happen overnight. So definitely, if you're in the Oklahoma City area, the whole central or the whole surrounding areas, or pretty much this whole Iowa area, you need to have a way to get those warnings out. There's still that tornado chance. As you can see, that 5% risk for tornadoes is including Oklahoma City is in that 2% risk for tornadoes. So definitely have a way to get those warnings out, just in case if any warnings do get issued for that type of area. But however, if you did enjoy this video, I would ask you to subscribe if you are new to the channel, and make sure to share this video with any friends or family who might be in the path of this severe weather threat. Anyways, stay safe.